As if you're in the dream, yeah?
So, well, I'll tell you, it was Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So I'm in a very stark landscape, and I'm driving down a steep hill, and I come to a horseshoe bend, and it's very wet, and there's lots of potholes. So I start going slower and slower, and as I get to the horseshoe bend, there's the road becomes huge, this huge expanse. And suddenly there are lots and lots of vehicles, and I'm thinking to myself, how do people know where to drive? Where's left and where's right? So I thought, it's the hairpin curve, I'll stick really to the left and everybody else can stay to the right. But a car comes towards me and this person's driving on the left. So I thought, I'll just stay on the left and they must move. Well, eventually they did. And then I saw there's this river and everybody's crossing the river, and I'm getting a bit apprehensive. And I'm thinking to myself, if only my husband were here, he could drive across. And then I get closer to the river and I stop, and suddenly I don't have a car to cross the river. I've got a lawnmower. A lawnmower. And then I go to pick my lawnmower up, and I look at the river, and it's become this very craggy waterfall, but the river's elevated, so it's now very difficult for me to cross, but it's very, very narrow, and all these other people are just crossing it with a lot of ease, but I've got this lawnmower. So I bend down to pick up my lawnmower, and suddenly it's a whippersnapper. And as I bend to pick it up, it lifts. And I look up, and there's a younger man, and the man's picked it up, and he's helping me. And he moves very fast, and he finds a place to cross that's very simple, and that I hadn't noticed. And suddenly I thought, you're going too fast. I've actually got more luggage to take. And then I thought, but I realised I had my handbag, and I thought, forget the rest. I've got the most important bit, my handbag. And I went across with him. And that was the end of the dream.
Right, wow, that's quite a dream you've got. What is a whippersnapper?
It's an edge trimmer.
A hedge trimmer?
No, the edge. The
An
edge
edge
of the grass.
trimmer. Cultural problem here. I ask you to tell us the dream again. And I'd like you to imagine that you are a film director and that we're going to have to make a film of this. So give me as much information as you can. And I won't ask you anything. Just tell me the whole thing again.
Whole thing again.
Mm-hmm.
In the present? Or
Yes.
describing
Yes.
it?
Fine. Whatever you want.
So I'm travelling downhill. It's not very steep. It's a slight decline. And it's just very barren. In fact, it reminds me of a mining landscape. It's so barren. It's almost a desert, but it's as if it's artificially barren. And then I come to this turn, and I'm all alone, but I'm quite comfortable in my loneliness, and I'm just in my 7-year-old Holden white Astra, but again comfortable. But then as I do the U-turn, suddenly there's all these potholes, whereas before the road hadn't been wet and damp, and the road had actually been just smooth. Suddenly it becomes more a dirt road, and there's just all these potholes. And they're not very deep, but I'm very mindful. I have to miss the potholes for some reason. So I'm going in between them, and then of course I realise that this road is just like 1 kilometre wide. And as I look up, I see all these other cars. It's actually very busy. And they're all moving in different directions, and I'm thinking, this is chaotic. How do people know the rules of the road? But I'm just thinking, well, okay, this is a U-turn. There is this horseshoe bend. If I stick to the left, I'm doing right. So I've been very careful to keep to the left, but this other car's coming to me and they're not obeying any rule, but I'm steadfast. I'm going to stick to the left of the road. And then they move, and then of course I realise there's a river, and so I get apprehensive. where's my husband? If only he were there, because he just goes through anything. So I don't. And then I got to the river, and the river, which was a normal river, and it was all this barrenness, just this barren, reddish brown sand. So there's the river. I didn't know how wide the river was. I had no idea if it was treacherous or anything. Just there's a river and I don't want to drive through the river. And then I stopped the car, and I don't know why I stopped the car. Is it to check the river or what it was, to see the lay of the land? But then it's a lawnmower, and now I'm going to carry my lawnmower, and I'm thinking, how am I going to get this heavy lawnmower? And of course then the river changes, and it's very rocky. It was so difficult. I mean, I'm very athletic, but I wasn't sure how I was going to get this lawnmower across. This was really shaggy, and it was really... Then as I bend down to pick it up, it's a whippersnapper, and then it lifts on its own. But I bend down and it just lifts. It was just amazing, and I look up in wonderment, and there's this young man. I didn't really look at him, but I just realised he was helping me. And then it was, how do you tell this lovely, kind person, hang on a minute, there's actually more to it than this? Then I realised that most important bit I've got with me, so forget the rest. And I just ran after him, and
that was the handbag.
I had my handbag,
Yeah.
so if I've got my handbag, the rest doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that was the end of the dream.
That was the end.
Knowing you've got your handbag.
Well, we
and you've
actually
got what's
crossed it.
important.
We went down to where we were going to cross, and that was the end.
Right.
I remember stepping across was just the end of the river.
Yeah.
That was the end.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. What did you notice when she told it the second time? How did that change it? To re-ask for a description again. What happens? How does it change? How does it change what you think about the dream as well? What does it do to you to have to hold back, to not have to come in with interpretations or understandings, but to listen again to it? How does that shift your consciousness? You're aware of that? Yeah? Okay. Are you aware of how you're different with the dream, having to go through it twice? You didn't like that much, it looked like. You didn't want to tell me it again. No. But you did. And you came up with a lot of new things. Were you aware of that?
Yes.
What was new?
What
Do you know?
Well, it was a lot more descriptive, and
Yes.
what was barren, and
Absolutely.
yes,
Yes.
what wasn't.
You're a lot more aware of the changes that
Yes.
happen in the dream, weren't you?
Yes.
And so the significant points in the dream.